I do have official business.
Really? Please tell me the nature of your business.
I'd really like to see Malia Getty.
I told you that unless you have official business with Ms. Getty, I cannot let you in.
Please let me in.
No. Go away before I call the police.
Hello?
Huh?
Bonjour, Monsieur Walker.
Bienvenue, Madame Casano. Comment ça va? How you be feeling today?
Well, I'll tell you, Mr. Walker. I'm certain someone's buried a sleep knot bag somewhere near my steps. I haven't slept a wink, not in weeks.
Now, don't that beat all? Gonna need some easy night candles then, huh?
Do you think that would help? I do hope you're right. I said 3 rosaries this morning for Our Lady's intervention.
Rosary good, sure enough, but you burn them candles too, boy, you gonna whip any no-sleep gree-gree, I tell you for sure.
Very well, Mr. Walker. Put them on my account and send them around to my house. Oh, and there's another thing. I didn't catch her at it, but I know. Mrs. Lefebvre put stomachache powder in my tea at the last meeting of the Creole Grand Dame. I've been in misery.
Now, you put 9 pinheads up in the little box, add a pinch of graveyard dust, put it up under her front post step. That'll turn the trick back on Miss Lefebvre, and she be the one with the bellyache. I got the pins of dust right here if you want them.
If the Blessed Virgin will grant me her protection, I'll be safe from these practitioners of evil.
Oui, madame. Though, don't hurt to be proactive neither, now does it?
Naturellement, monsieur. Merci beaucoup.
Mais non, madame. It's nothing. Au revoir.
Au revoir, Monsieur Walker.
Do you know anything about snake scales?
I got some snake root and snake powder, but I order them wholesale. I don't handle snakes. I don't like them at all.
Hi there. Is this your store?
This is the Dixieland drugstore, and I own it. Me. Name's Walker. Willie Walker.
What do you know about the Voodoo murders?
Caprice encore.
What did you say?
Nothing. Them killings have nothing to do with my shop, monsieur.
Can you tell me what you know about voodoo?
This is a novelty shop, monsieur.
Do you think I'm stupid? This is a voodoo shop. Look at all this stuff.
These is novelties, curiosities. If people want to think they magic, it's not my concern, you know?
That customer of yours, the little old lady.
Customer?
The woman I saw in here, Madame Casino, you called her.
I don't talk about my customers to men who come in off the street.
What did you mean when you said Caprice encore?
I didn't say that.
You did. I heard you say it.
You heard wrong, monsieur. I said no such thing.
Are you telling me that you own a voodoo shop, but you know nothing about voodoo practices?
Ça n'est pas ça faire blanc.
What does that mean?
It mean you should mind your own business, monsieur.
What do you think of Nolans?
I live here all my life, me.
What do you think of Nolans?
If you're not from around here, monsieur, you should sign up for some tours.
Do you know anything about snakes?
What kind of snakes?
The kind they use in voodoo?
Pythons, boas, so I've heard.
Really? Do you have one?
Are you crazy? What would I want with a python?
Tell me about yourself.
My name's Willie Walker. I own the place.
How did you get into this kind of business?
Now, why should I discuss my business with you, man?
So, this is a voodoo store, huh?
Voodoo? No, man. This a curio shop. The things you see here are from local folklore. None of it real, I tell you for sure.
What about all these magic oils and powders you're selling? Aren't they a part of voodoo?
Read the label, man. We make no claims. Sold as curio only. It mean what it say, no? These are novelties, not voodoo.
So, do you get many tourists in here?
We, all the time. They want to buy a bottle of money-drawn oil or wang a bag to take home with them.
How's business?
About like always.
I'm a businessman too. I own a bookstore here in the quarter.
I don't really care, me. I got a store to run.
Garlic, cloves, and other dried goods and spices are collected in the bowls.
I know where to come if I ever have a vampire problem.
Root bags, curio boxes, and magic candles. Sold as curios only. We cannot guarantee results. Herbal oils for love, luck, power, and success. Garlic, cloves, and other dried goods and spices are collected in the bowls.
I know where to come if I ever have a vampire problem.
The sign says, Special St. John's Eve Lagnia. Free bottle of lover come back to me oil, or master gambling oil with every purchase over $50.
Lagniappe. My French is lousy, but everyone in New Orleans knows what that means. A little something extra.
The shelf holds containers of dried items, flowers, grasses, and black cat bones.
I'd have to smell those if I opened them. I don't want any of this stuff.
The mask appears to be made from a real crocodile head. To get the mask, Gabriel would have to buy it. It's a mannequin wearing a crocodile mask.
Do you recognize this pattern?
Don't look familiar at all, monsieur.
Would you mind taking a look at this photograph?
Cabrice encore.
Cabrice encore? What does that mean?
Nothing, man. I didn't say nothing like that. You heard me wrong, man.
Mind if I ask you a few questions?
Ask what you want. I answer what I want.
What can you tell me about St. John's Eve?
It's the biggest night of the year in voodoo.
What goes on exactly?
I couldn't say.
Do you know anything about animal masks?
The only one left is Willie Jr. over there, the old crocodile. He's sort of a mascot now, him.
About Willie Jr., would you be willing to let him go?
Maybe. For $100.
100? You gotta be kidding.
Me and Willie Jr. are very close now. I couldn't part with him for less.
Would you take 50 for Willie Jr.?
Don't insult me, monsieur. The price is $120.
What? You said you'd sell it for 100 before.
You misheard, monsieur. The price was always 120.
Would you take 50 for Willie Jr.?
Don't insult me, monsieur. The price is $120.
What? You said you'd sell it for 100 before.
You misheard, monsieur. The price was always 120.
Does this mean anything to you?
I don't know anything about that at all.
The poster advertises a voodoo play from last fall.
Does this mean anything to you?
I don't know anything about that at all.
Root bags, curio boxes, and magic candles. Sold as curios only. We cannot guarantee results. It's nearly as old as the one at St. George's. The Dixieland drugstore has a rather terrifying way of dealing with shoplifters. The Dixieland drugstore is crammed from top to bottom with strange merchandise, some or all of which seem to be related to the practice of voodoo.
Welcome, my friend. Hello. I am the proprietor, Dr. John. If you have any questions, I will be happy to assist.
Great. My name is Knight, and I'll probably take you up on that.
The back wall displays various voodoo items, such as offerings of fruits to the voodoo deities. That must be Marie Laveau. A street drummer has settled outside the museum. The voodoo shrine is filled with items that both fascinate Gabriel and also make his skin crawl.
Will that look sacrilegious? Wonder who that poor bastard was. Magenta Moonbeam. Voodoo Inn. This coffin is so small. A waste of some perfectly good wine, if you ask me. It wouldn't be much of a voodoo museum without a voodoo doll.
A leather whip hangs from a peg on the wall.
Oh, hurt me. Reminds me of a book critic for the New York Times.
Flickering candles lend an appropriately spooky atmosphere to the museum. An official voodoo wishing stump. Rub it and make a wish, a card says.
Funny, I say the same thing to women.
An authentic-looking pole marks the center of the room. Authentic what? Gabriel isn't sure. Gabriel doesn't recognize the museum's flags. A very large, very formidable-looking snake is secured in a plexiglass cage. That doesn't seem to work that way. A beaded gourd is on display. Perhaps Gabriel should learn more about the scale before showing it to anyone.
Could I ask you a few questions?
That is why I am here.
What can you tell me about voodoo?
Historical voodoo, or the voodoo currently practiced in the city.
Tell me about historical voodoo.
Very well. I will start at the beginning, Mr. Knight, and will go on from there at your prompting.
Sounds good.
As you may know, voodoo is a grassroots religion, formed by the mixing together of many different African tribal religions and Anglo religions, such as Catholicism or Protestantism. In other words, it is a religion born of the African slave trade. But African slaves were imported not only by the United States, but also into the West Indies, where the French and Spanish ran plantation islands. Prior to 1803, the New Orleans area was owned by France. The French Creole in those days owned many African slaves. But the Creole did not permit their slaves to gather, giving no chance for voodoo to breed here natively. The Creole also knew enough about the corrupted pagan practices of the West Indies slaves to ban the importings of slaves from that region.
So how did voodoo come to New Orleans?
After the Louisiana Purchase, American legislators relaxed regulations. Slaves were permitted to gather. The Americans also removed the ban on West Indies slaves. Around the same time, a slave revolt occurred in Santo Domingo, what is now Haiti. Between the lifting of the ban and the Haitian Revolt, West Indies slaves began pouring into New Orleans. Some of them were free people of color, freed or escaped slaves. Some came with their white owners who were fleeing from the revolt.
What happened when the West Indies slaves got here?
They brought voodoo with them. The native slaves were more than enthusiastic about embracing it. It gave them power, Mr. Knight, if only in the form of a communal bond. Among the first meeting places were the Bayou St. John and the shore of Lake Pontchartrain. The early voodoos were heavy snake worshippers, worshipping the one they called the Great Zombie.
Tell me more about historical voodoo.
By 1817, the voodoo activities were beginning to cause fear among the white slave owners. An ordinance was passed to forbid slave gatherings except in designated public areas at designated times. The time was Sunday afternoons, and the place, Congo Square. The slaves and free people of color gathered to dance simulations of their voodoo dances, right in sight of Creole society. Of course, they also continued to meet in private for the real thing.
Tell me more about historical voodoo.
There were a variety of kings and queens at first, voodoo priests and priestesses. But from about 1830, a single power emerged. This was a voodoo queen named Marie Laveau. Marie Laveau ruled voodoo in New Orleans for many years.
Tell me about Marie Laveau.
There were actually two Marie Laveaux, mother and daughter. Most people thought they were the same woman. Her continued youth added to the mystique. The original, the mother, was also known as Widow Paris. It was she that began the empire.
Tell me more about Marie Laveau.
The Laveau tomb, where one or both of the Maries are believed to be buried, is in St. Louis Cemetery No. 1. It is a popular shrine for practitioners and tourists alike. I myself take tours through the cemetery on a regular basis.
Really? Do you have any running this week?
No, but the cemetery is open to the general public as well.
Tell me about current voodoo.
Many people think of voodoo in terms of magic spells or gree-gree. That kind of practice is actually called hoodoo and is only a part of true voodoo. Voodoo, the religion, has a strong following in New Orleans. In fact, it is growing quite rapidly. There are several voodoo churches or temples in the city, and others all across the United States. African Americans see it as a tradition all their own. Whites, and there are many in the religion, are attracted to it because they think it is exotic. I personally am more interested in the history of voodoo. Some of the new movements are copying Haitian or even African voodoo, but it is the voodoo of New Orleans that I find so intriguing.
What can you tell me about St. John's Eve?
It is one of the important ceremonial nights in voodoo.
Do you know what Caprice and Call means?
I fear my French is not all it should be, Mr. Knight.
Do you know anything about snakes?
Ah, you have perhaps noticed the museum snake, Mr. Knight? They are beautiful creatures. Do you not agree? And the tourists seem to associate them with voodoo.
Do you know anything about animal masks?
I used to have some antique African totem masks, but they were on the point of disintegration, so I removed them.
What exactly is hoodoo?
Hoodoo refers to magic folk traditions of the South. Hoodoo is a bastard of voodoo. Many of the gree-gree are similar, but hoodoo does not have the religious aspects of voodoo.
What do you think of New Orleans?
It is the only city in the United States, as far as I am concerned.
What do you know about the voodoo murders?
The killings in the newspaper. I know they have nothing to do with true voodoo in New Orleans.
Tell me about yourself.
Me?
Yes, if you don't mind.
What is it you wish to learn?
Why did you open a voodoo museum?
The subject has fascinated me all my life, and I wanted to help preserve the cultural heritage it represents.
What kind of background in voodoo do you have?
Let us just say I cut my teeth on it, Mr. Knight. It is in my blood.
Do you do anything besides run the museum?
No, the museum does not make me a rich man. But my material needs are simple. I prefer to focus on my one true interest in life.
What are your own religious beliefs?
My beliefs are too personal and too complex to discuss with a layman, Mr. Knight.
Just tell me anything.
I am originally from the West Indies myself, you know.
Really? What brought you to New Orleans?
I was drawn here for personal reasons.
Just tell me anything.
I am a vegetarian.
Really? I can't imagine living without meat.
That must be the hunter in you, Mr. Knight.
Actually, I can't think of a thing.
Then let us discuss something else.
So how's the museum business?
Those who truly seek to understand are few, Mr. Knight. But even one can be an audience.
Sounds about like my shop. So where do you pick up all this stuff?
Oh, here and there. We accept donations of any pertinent items.
Do you ever get any wackos in here?
You mean, besides yourself?
Yeah, besides me.
I do not care to make those kinds of judgments, Mr. Knight. All are welcome here.
Do these marks look familiar?
They look like the scribbling of a child to me.
Okay, thanks. Could you look at this and tell me if you recognize anything about the ritual?
This is truly offensive. This is from one of those recent killings, is it not?
Well, actually,
But the police already know that this so-called voodoo ritual is fake. Voodoo is a respectable religion. This kind of thing has nothing to do with voodoo in the city.
fine, let's say that's true. Are you sure there's nothing about the items in this photo?
There is nothing about this sickness that I would identify as voodoo. Nothing.
Thanks for looking, then.
Perhaps Gabriel should learn more about the scale before showing it to anyone. A very large, very formidable-looking snake is secured in a plexiglass cage.
The python is quite dangerous. I would stay back if I were you.
Thanks for the advice.
Gabriel can't do anything with the drum around the street.
Goodbye, Dr. John.
Goodbye, Mr. Knight.
Odd-looking marks adorn the Laveau tomb wall. The wall doesn't work that way.
I want a copy of these strange marks.
The wall doesn't work that way. The marks are reddish in color and remind Gabriel of crosses. They look like they've been here a few days at least. The wall doesn't work that way. Food, trinkets, and more unsettling things have been left at Marie Laveau's tomb as offerings from believers.
No thanks.
A plaque on the tomb reads, Laveau. This old tomb is in a sorry state of disrepair. There's probably no one left in the family to maintain it.
I don't need to go visit the family tomb today.
The marble denizens of the cemetery only stare back blankly. An angel with a cross stands guard over one of the tombs. Gabriel can't put his sketch back on the wall. Looking at the series of crosses, Gabriel can't help but think they have a pattern and meaning he is not comprehending.
Hello, Dr. John.
Glad you could return to us, Mr. Knight.
Do these symbols mean anything to you?
No, they look like nonsense to me. Where did you get them, if I might inquire?
I saw them scribbled somewhere. Just graffiti, I guess.
I see. By the way, I forgot to warn you, Mr. Knight. The local cemeteries are quite dangerous. Buggers, vandals. I would avoid going there alone if I were you.
Really? Thanks for the advice. Goodbye, Dr. John.
Goodbye, Mr. Knight.
That window leads to Mosley's office.
If Gabriel wants to talk to Mosley, he can go in through the front door.
Can I bother you again, officer?
What is it this time?
What do you know about St. John's Eve?
A bunch of crazies out there on St. John's Eve, that's what. We're busy all night.
Really? What kind of crazies?
Oh, your usual howl at the mooners, I guess. They don't look no weirder than them that come in during Mardi Gras. Never can tell, though.
Do you know what Caprice and Call means?
No. Sounds foreign or something.
What do you know about Marie Laveau?
Marie who? Is she the one that hangs out on Conti and Nash?
No. Never mind. Do you know anything about animal masks?
I see plenty of masks during Mardi Gras. Not many animals, though. Of course, there's plenty of animals underneath.
I'm here to see Detective Mosley.
He's in his office. Go on back.
Excuse me, officer?
Yes?
Are you sure I can't make a copy of this file?
I'm real sure.
Let me see that file again.
That file stays in this room.
Gabriel opens and reads the police file.
Don't leave the room with that file, please.
I'm done.
Yeah, thanks.
Mostly, my man.
It's you. God help me.
That doesn't seem to work that way.
Can I ask you about some stuff?
You're the writer. Ask away.
Do you know anything about Marie Laveau?
Is she that red-headed chick that works at Freddy's?
No.
Then I don't know her.
Do you know anything about animal masks?
Animal masks? You mean like those Halloween masks they sometimes use in robberies?
I don't think so. More like real animals.
Never ran across anything like that.
What can you tell me about St. John's Eve?
That's coming up, isn't it? We get some occasional weirdness in the quarter, but nothing much. Used to have a lot of strange things happen, though, or so I hear.
What else can you tell me about St. John's Eve?
I don't know much except what I already told you.
Does the phrase Caprice encore mean anything to you?
Hell no! Is that French? My mother spoke it, but I always had a hard enough time just speaking English.
True enough. I got those photographs you left for me.
So you said. Did you think of any other shots for the book?
Let's take another cop-author shot.
What for?
I don't think we got your best side.
Really? Okay. I'll have Franks come in again. Franks, come back in here with that camera.
Now what, sir?
This clown wants another picture. You don't mind, do you?
Of course not. What else could I possibly have to do? Ready? Smile.
Anything else, Knight?
Hold on a sec while I go check my hair.
Good God, Knight. Make it fast.
Just wanna check this machine here. Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's... Oh, never mind. I already know.
Would you just get in here? Hurry up, would ya?
Okay, ready.
Thanks, hun. Let me know when you get them developed. The photos, that is.
Yeah, sure.
Anything else, Knight?
Nope, that's about it.
Good. See ya, Franks.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Anything else?